What we have here is a 2008 Softail Crossbones. Now, you know what that means? That means this bike's a Springer. This bike is a Springer. First time I ever saw this bike was in an Indiana Jones movie. I think it was called the Search for the Crystal Skull or something. And what's his name? Shia LaBeouf was riding a bike around. They were trying to pass it off as a 1950s Harley. It was this. I remember looking at theaters and go, wait a minute, that's a twin cam. Just shortly after that is when this bike came out. It might be the last Springer we ever made. We haven't made one, well, since the Crossbones, and we stopped making this bike in, I think it was like 2010. This was the first year for this bike. It's got a lot of accessories. This thing is so far away from stock, it's ridiculous. And I need you to come in a little bit closer because I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to save that Springer front end for last because I want to show you everything else on this bike. So what I want you to do, come on in. Okay. We're going to start out, first behind here is the 96-inch counterbalance engine. That means this bike has almost no vibration in it. All the vibrations eliminated inside the engine. We started doing this in 2000, revolutionized the entire industry. Before that, you got this vibration all the time. Now, it's all gone. High flow air filter, cone shaped. I really like that. I really like that. That gets maximum input. Footboards, if you can see that, you got footboards here for your comfort. They're also cushioned a little bit, so very much big oversized brake pad. Let me move on back here just a little bit. Bassani pipes, 6-speed transmission too, by the way. This thing gives some really nice volume. It's turned out, it's tuned down, almost kind of like the street sweeper pipes. Looking awesome. Rear foot pegs for your passenger, a little bit oversized, so more comfort for them. And Harley-Davidson leather saddlebags. Got a lot of good storage area here. You can take them off too if you don't like it. Of course, these bikes look really good because there's no shocks showing. The shocks are underneath a Softail bike. It has a Softail frame. They're underneath for a little bit. That way you got the nice clean look, but you also get all the benefits of dual shocks underneath the bike. Now, let me show you the back end. That brings us back to the rear fender of this bike. Built-in recessed license plate bracket. It's inside there. It's not on top of it. It is built down inside the fender. Bullet turn signal lights, and I'm going to show you some really cool features here. Hear that beep? First of all, that beep is indicating this bike has an audible alarm system on it. That did not come from the factory that way. That was added to the bike. Now, let me show you these. I said this is LED. You also got an LED tail light. The tail light also doubles as a signal light. And your LED bullet signal lights too. That's the right side. Now let's go left. Or for us sailors out there, the port side. Look at that, same thing here. Now, this is cool. I'm gonna turn the signal light off and I'm gonna hit the tail light. Watch this, the brake light. Yeah, that'll get your attention. Safety first, safety first. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. This has got a Mustang seat on it, which ain't cheap. I'm gonna kind of, hear that? That's the audible alarm system. I'm gonna kind of give you a roundabout dollar figure on just how much accessorizing this motorcycle has on it. But the Mustang seat is very comfortable. For your back, you've got a passenger's or a rider's backrest here too that's detachable. You can pull that thing out. Okay, let me show you the other side of this bike. Yeah, I'm gonna go over here to the port side. Tow and heel shifter. It's a 6-speed. This also gotta get your attention, huh? Tow and heel shifter, you can go 1 down and 5 down back here, or if you want, put it underneath and pull it up. You also got footboards here. The Mustang seat I was talking about, beautiful Mustang seat right here. This backrest, if you wanted to take it out, it does come out. Now, let me show you a little bit of the brains of this bike. Yep, let me run back over here. I'll turn the switch back on, I'll show you some stuff in here. This has got 2 trip meters. It's got a range indicator, how far you can go on the amount of fuel that's in the tank. This bike, by the way, too, it's only got 40,000 miles on it. You think, oh, 40,000 miles? No, this bike's 11 years old. We figure about 7,000 miles a year is average, so this thing is way, way, way under average. It's like, what's that, 5, 6 years worth of miles on it. spread out over 11 years now as far as model years. High beam, low beam indicator, turn signal indicator, left and right. Security system that's beeping inside there. You can see that flashing on and off. You got 2 trip meters on it. I usually reset one of my trip meters every time I fill up with gas. It does have a gas gauge in it, but I don't trust those things. I'd rather see on there. But it does also have a range indicator that tells you how far you can go. With the 2 trip meters, you have 1 trip meter you can reset every time you fill up. If you're going out on a trip somewhere, leave the other one running. That way when you get back, you can say, look at there, I drove 1,500 miles. I drove 25,000 miles. I mean, whatever. I like that feature, always have. Now, I said we were gonna get around to the big attraction of this bike. That's the Springer front end. Here we go. Follow me. There you go. Look at it. Can you see it? 2 springs. 2 springs. Okay. It's like I said before, there was a time when this was the front end on all the Harleys. Many, 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 many decades ago. I love it. Now, what this is basically is this is what's on the inside of all the forks on all of our bikes. It's just that there's no cover on here. So you have to blow it out a little bit, you know, because the dust gets into it. But look at the cool, there's a really cool picture of Jimi Hendrix sitting on one of these things that I have framed and on my wall because it's ridiculously great, and it's a Springer front end. LED lights in the front. Look, whoo, look at that. Man, you got triple headlights. Now that wasn't stock either. This bike only came with 1 headlight. These 2 outside lights were added to it. Don't you love that? I mean, you get too close to the car in front of you, you're gonna burn the paint off the back of their trunk, but hey, they shouldn't be in cages anyway, right? Look at that, don't you love it? Now I'm gonna sit on it. And I think I might even start it up. Yeah, let's saddle up. Mustang seat. Chubby apes. Custom grips. Custom mirrors. I've already pointed out these things right here were not factory. These 2 outside lights, these were added to it too. This bike came with only 1 single headlight. The engine guard with highway foot pegs. Cruising down the road, you kick back, you got your backrest here with these ape-hanger handlebars. Oh man, you know, nothing better feeling than being in the wind on a bike like this. Style, comfort, historic, nostalgia, beautiful. Fuel injected bike too, by the way. It's all we've been making since 2007. Let me give you a little thrill. Check this out. Sounds prettier than a Stradivarius violin, don't it? Here we go. I want to give you just a little bit of an idea about the money value of all the additions to this bike. Let's say these headlights up here, probably close to $1,000, maybe a little bit more. And I'm not talking about installed, I'm just talking about over-the-counter costs. Because the Chubby Apes, probably another $1,500 right there. The mirrors, let's say a couple of $100. The grips, $200 or $300. The engine guard, a couple of $100. This Mustang seat, those things are about $600 to $800 for a Mustang seat. The saddlebags, probably $700 or $800. The high flow air filter, Screaming Eagle air filter, air cleaner kit, the Bassani pipes. I think I could probably roughly say this bike's gotten probably close to maybe $10,000 worth of extras on it when you figure, especially if you figure it in labor, and I may be underbidding that big time. It's beautiful. Pinstriping, flush mount, yeah. I mean, I could go on and on and on. 32-degree rake. It's a 96-inch motor with 1,584 cc's. It's got a 90mm front wheel 16-inch and a 200mm rear wheel 17-inch. This thing's putting out like 85 foot-pounds of torque at 3,100 RPMs. It weighs about 737 pounds, full of gas and ready to go. come on down, check this bike out. It's the only true Springer we've got. We've got one other Springer, but it's not really, it's a wide glide Springer. It's a cool bike, but this is a true Springer. Come on down, check this bike out. I don't think it's gonna be here very long. There's just not very many of these things around. This is like the third one we've had in the last 2.5 years since I've been here. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you. Come in, ask for Billy Sample, ask for any one of our sales representatives. We'll all help you out. Looking forward to it. Take a test ride on it. The rain's kind of easing off a little bit. I'll see you soon, right here, Salem Harley-Davidson, on the corner of Fisher and Silverton Road, right here in the beautiful capital city of Oregon, Salem. See you soon.